everyone, this is MacLeod, this is the Asgaard SMP Season 2, and welcome back to Lucky Episode number 13. You just witnessed us finishing up the top of this rock here, and this thing looks absolutely crazy. There are so many blocks going on around here. We had to go back out and knock out several geodes to get all the basalt for this, but it looks so cool. I'm so happy with how this looks, and we actually had enough wither roses too, so we didn't end up having to go back and get any more of those, which is really good because our egg farm broke. This was decommissioned by a creeper, and if you don't know why that's a bad thing, go ahead back to the episode where we were gathering all those wither roses and take a peek at why that actually matters. So my performance is taking a huge hit here, but I've used the Bobby mod to crank up my render distance up to 64 chunks, and this is an absolutely insane view from the top of the base. Look at everything that's going on around here. Like, that down there is a whole forest. It looks tiny from up here. There's another big hill next to us that, again, just looks so small. We can see some other bases. We can see stuff over at spawn. I'm trying to move so lightly so that I just don't absolutely kill my computer with this, but this is an incredible view. Highly recommend it. I am going to turn my render distance back down though. There's something that you guys actually haven't seen that I did in between clips here. If I go ahead and turn on mini HUD, you will see that we have a fully lit up area now. We have the green saying that this is not spawnable anywhere around here. So we've got occasional lights dotted about here. We just used some shroom lights, tucked it underneath the moss carpet so you can't even see it. And then in the few areas on the tower where that was an issue, I just added a couple extra half slabs to make sure that that was also non-spawnable. So now we're completely safe up here. And as we fly up on the base, I think this still looks just a little bit too plain, even though we do have a lot of texture going on with the whole greenery. But that corner right here in particular, I think is going to need just a little bit of an extra touch. And in order to do that, I am back over at spawn here, checking out our storages, looking for some acacia wood, but it actually would appear that we don't have any of that yet. Acacia obtained, and I know that there's somewhat of a stigma in the community against this wood because of the orange planks, but it's actually the beautiful gray logs that I'm after in this case. And it would appear that I'm gonna have to go after more of them because this didn't get me very far at all. We will probably just start up a farm or something nearby, but we have most of the stump done to a tree here, and I think this thing's gonna look pretty cool. Let's go ahead off the side and take a look back at it. I'm catching all of these wither roses right now. But look at this. I think that's a good start to what's going to be hopefully a pretty knobbly and broken down looking tree. I do need to at the end go through and get rid of all the oranges just by making it the bark blocks. But I think for right now, this thing is going to be pretty cool. I just really don't like building trees. I love the outcome, but I always struggle to actually come up with something that I'm happy with. And after collecting a whole bunch more, now I think that actually looks pretty cool. Now it's not quite as big as I had originally anticipated. I was shooting for kind of about half the height of that tower, and we ended up at about a third of the height of the tower, which isn't so bad, but I am actually pretty happy with this. Definitely spent a lot of time on it, there's no doubt about that, but I think we really got that kind of broken down sort of knobbly look pretty much in the pocket here. Now I would like to add a couple like twigs and whatnot, try to find some gray blocks to make this look like a little bit more beaten down other than just like here's some logs. Maybe we modify this just a little bit more because some angles, okay, not down here. Some angles still make this thing look just a little bit odd. It's a lot bigger when you're closer to it, and we mixed in some tuff now to add some extra texture. I'm really happy with how that looks. We've also got some tough walls in there, and that just adds some extra skinny bits, and I'd like to use some fence posts too, to again just add something even a little bit skinnier. And if we come on off the side, you'll see that we also have a root hanging off here, and that just adds that extra little bit of depth to it, which makes me really happy with how this has come together. What is this? Why is there a hole over here? Is this a whole chunk missing? That is perfectly a chunk. That is very suspicious. Does the staircase go somewhere? It just stops right here. All right then. We have expanded on the tree now by placing some pointed dripstone underneath it. Now, I'm not sure if that stuff is actually going to grow or not because it is man-placed, but if it's not going to grow, I'll go back up there and I'll add a few more on my own because I think that is a pretty cool idea to have some extra rocks pointed down like that. It just adds some extra texture to this big old rock here, and we actually did that in a second place as well. If we come along the back here, there was a nice big flat area, which seemed like it was perfect for this, and apparently I stole my scaffolding. I'm going to have to clean that up, but if we zoom on in here, you can see there's a bunch of it back here, and also none of it's grown back here. which makes me think that player-placed dripstone does not actually grow. I know if you put it on a dripstone block and you have water above it, that it's going to grow faster, but it seems strange to me that I have so many of these placed and none of them have actually grown yet. So now we're going to leave that as is for the moment and shift gears a little bit here, because a couple episodes ago we worked on these rivers here, and this is pretty cool, but right now it just kind of stops at the edge and nothing special happens after that. It just looks like the water comes off the edge and then just hits like an invisible wall or something, and we want to do something about that. These need to continue to pour off the side and work how liquids are expected to work. This is going to be a lot of work and we're going to need a lot of materials. I think if I come on up here and I take a look at my supply, yeah, we only have 3 and a little bit extra stacks of the magenta stained glass left over, so we're definitely going to need a lot more of that, which means off to the desert, and we're going to need a whole lot more sand so that we can smelt that up and craft it into this beautiful glass we have here. Although first off, we should probably make the shovel actually usable because we're running pretty low here. Lots of glass in these furnaces here that we have to collect yet, but we still also have another shulker box that we have mostly converted into glass, a few stacks of sand left to go, but then we also have all of this, a lot more sand that we still need to convert, so that it's going to take a while, but in the meantime, there's another resource that we still need to collect. Off to the gold farm where we have this bartering set up in order to collect up some blackstone. Hopefully there's still some here. Oh, that doesn't bode well. Guess we're going to be doing some AFK. Very dangerous, but I am aiming to fill the entire hole here with the blackstone, at least outline the bottom of it, and that is going to have the glass on top of it. But this is a consistent problem. There are always mobs in the way. This is a constant battle, but anyway, it seems like it's coming along not too bad. We're just going to need a lot of this stuff. 8 double chests worth of blackstone later, and we've got this thing pretty much covered up. I do have to go a little bit further, so we probably are going to need a few more stacks here and have to make another run yet out to the gold farm to get more. I do want this to go out past where the edge of the floating rock is, so yeah, we're definitely going to need some more out here, and there's probably a few blocks here and there. I've already spotted a couple and patched them up within here, but now it is time to start filling this thing with glass and try to make it look like we actually have a pool of that purple ooze just kind of floating here. And now to start here, we are going to need to find the lowest point, which I believe is between one of these two. They're probably actually at the same depth here, and if I hit F3, we are at y equals 68 on this side, and we're also at y equals 68 on this side. So we're going to start filling this in with the magenta glass here, and we need to alternate, so every other level is going to have a layer of glass, which means that all of the even layers are going to have glass on them. I have crafted 27,000 magenta glass. That is absolutely nuts, and we're not done yet. I still need so much more, but this is looking pretty cool after those first couple of layers there. I'm about half as high as I want to go, but I really do like how this is looking. It's got that super cool foggy effect, but we got probably 4 to 5 more layers to go. I want it to be a part of that before we start to really have something that I'm happy with here, and it is starting to become night. Let's go ahead and resolve that real quick. There we go. So looking at this in the morning light, that was perfectly timed. Look at that. With the sun rays over it, the shaders make this thing look so cool. But this is very, very grindy, and I've spent so long on this episode already. I've had so many other videos come out on other topics in between episodes here because this has been quite the grind. So I want to jump over a little bit here and kind of fill in the gaps here. We have water still that needs to pour off of here and then blend into there. So I'd like to do at least one of those columns so that we get a feel for how this is going to look toward the end. And it will just be the one today because that was super tedious to place, but I really like how that looks. I kind of logged out, waited a little bit, logged back in to see what I thought of it because I wasn't quite sure in the moment, but seeing it now, I'm super happy with that. Let's go ahead and grab a firework rocket and apparently not take off. Let's try that again there. There we go. And see what it looks like from above. That is so cool. So let's come on down here. I extended the black up a little bit further now, so it's like this is kind of hitting right here, splashing, making a little bit of a pool, and then it's going to trickle on down. And because this does need to go higher, I didn't build like the whole flood down, but it'll kind of come down, probably fill up this little area, trickle down through kind of just wherever it feels natural. So probably right here, and it'll go down to wherever the top of the bottom glass is. And there's a bunch of these that actually need to go in, so we are going to do all of those going around here. There's a couple big ones and there's a few small ones as well. We'll make sure that we get everything together, but that is going to have to be in next episode because, like I said, this took so long. I have a couple extra details for making this look a little bit animated, but you guys will see that in the next one. So if you did enjoy, go ahead and subscribe for more, and I'll see y'all next time.